Welcome to another episode of the horrid, despicable apocalypse. Congratulations, by the way, for choosing the horrid apocalypse. And since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, I happen to be that guide, your humble guide. Nicholas, so good to see you again. Let us continue upon the same vein as the past 2 days. As everyone passes the hot potato or potato back and forth in an attempt to escape The Hague. It is this simple. This entire Venezuela thing is Donny's baby, is Petey's baby. They devised the plan. Therefore, they are responsible for every death. Every single one. Doesn't matter what comes afterwards, what details, what titles they put on the slain. All that matters is the truth, and the truth is Donald Trump is a mass murderer, verified. Peter Hegseth is a mass murderer, verified. Let us begin. Let us start with Skeletor in her hideous brown cream, whatever the fuck that is. Brown's such a great fucking color for clothing, isn't it? Especially in jackets. Pseudo-hideous suit jackets, be they male or female. Kind of makes me want to vomit when I see it, personally. That's how goddamn bad it looks. Anyway, what do I expect as a woman who's, who looks 47, who's really 27, who married a 90-year-old? What do I expect here? So they get right in on Miss Levitt, and boy, I didn't even have to listen to her speak once today. The look on her face in every single screenshot kind of says it all. And she was dreading every damn question because everybody and their grandma knows that Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump are mass murderers and they're mass murdering down there. And there's no justification. And even Miss Levitt, who doesn't even have a soul, who usually has no problem just, rattling off the lies, I could tell she was having problems today. That's how bad this shit is. Not that there hasn't been a million other equally as bad, impeachable, in jail the rest of your life offenses. For so many of them. But let's focus on this latest atrocity. Does the administration deny that the second strike happened, or did it happen? And the administration denies that Hegseth gave the order. The latter. Okay, let's focus on the latter. Because everyone's got a take on this today. But I think they missed this part right here. The reporter said, or are you denying that Hegseth gave the order? The latter, well, that would be, yeah, Hegseth didn't give the order. He had nothing to do with it. Yeah, he did. He said kill them all. That's all you got to say. You want everyone dead? The admiral followed that order. He didn't have to. He could have refused. But if your commanding officer, which is Pete Hegseth, says, I want them all dead, well, you have two choices. You either do it or not do it. Admiral chose to do it. And he finished the parameters of the orders. That doesn't make him innocent by any means, but all he was doing was following orders, and he carried it to its desired conclusion by the mass murderer Pete Hegseth. But here we have Miss Levitt first thing in the morning saying, no, the strike happened even though we lied about it before. We tried to say it didn't happen. Oh, it happened, just Pete had nothing to do with it. Shocker, they were going to go that route. Where Pete and Donnie are not under the bus. And someone else fucking is. Secretary Hegseth authorized Admiral Bradley to conduct these kinetic strikes. Okay, well then Hegseth gave the order. She just contradicted her fucking self. He worked well within his authority and the law. Oh wait, now it's within the authority and the law. That's a common sentence you hear from Bondi, from Levitt, from the whole Reich. Whenever they break the law, we're following the law. No, you're not. You are not the law, and no, you're not following it. Ever. I don't care how many times they say it. That's what got us in this mess. You idiots out there listening to Alex Jones to tell the same lies over. And he's just an example. Over and over and over again. And just because it was said, it is now gospel. That's why your country's over, son. One of the most direct reasons. Plus, you thought it was a game. I know, a football game. I know. That's why it's over. No, he wasn't within his authority. No, he was not within the law. They are mass murdering people in boats down the Caribbean, and there is no legal justification for it. I don't care if they classify them as terrorists, whatever they say. Meaningless to me. The fucking Hague, son. Only place this belongs. Just for the strikes themselves, not even the fucking killing the survivors. That's just a bonus. Again, I don't care what any of you think out there. I don't care about the Reich. Just because it's the apocalypse and you're Nazis and you want to build a Reich, that don't give you the right to murder people in the Caribbean en masse. Donald Trump is a mass murderer. Pete Hegseth is a mass murderer. You said the follow-up strike was lawful. What law is it that allows no survivors? Indeed. The strike was conducted in self-defense to protect Americans. No, it won't. Not one of them. None of these people are a threat to America in any way, shape, or form. Donald Trump just wants Venezuela's oil, and he's letting the cartels know, I want a cut, or I'll take it all. That's all. So, no, the strike was not conducted in self-defense. That's a ridiculous fucking argument, my God. And, you know, you look at the looks on her faces, man. She's having... It's written all over her face. Each clip. Was the initial order from Hegseth to kill everyone, and did that come from President Trump? Oh yeah, it came from Trump and it came from Hegseth. They devised the plan. They're responsible for everything. I don't care what anyone says. This is Donnie and Pete's baby from second one. I would reject that the Secretary of War ever said that. I wouldn't. He said it on Fox News. I already knew that before the clip was found, by the way. That's why I yell every day. They brag about it on camera. Now all of a sudden no one knows it's not me. The hot potato getting thrown the fuck around. It's hot. Nobody wants it. I don't know. It's all fun and games in the White House when they're joking about it. When Pete's on Fox News, playing clips, it's all fun. I don't understand why no one wants to take credit now. However, the president has made it quite clear that if narco-terrorists are trafficking illegal drugs toward the U.S., he has the authority to kill them. Okay, so Donnie gave the orders. Pete gave the orders then. Cool. Thanks. Thanks, Skeletor. Here's what her face looks like on this one. Not doing well. I'm sensing a lack in the usual false confidence she portrays. Does it undercut the administration's messaging when Republicans are defending strikes on narco-terrorists? What a fucking joke that title is. The only terrorist is Donnie and the Reich. Remember, Donnie staged a coup. That's a terrorist. Everyone that took part is a terrorist. Alex Jones helped finance it. He's a terrorist. The Publix heiress helped finance it. She's a terrorist. Clarence Thomas's wife helped finance it and helped in other ways. She's a terrorist. One more time, does it undercut the administration's messaging when Republicans are defending strikes on narco-terrorists and then Trump pardons a convicted drug trafficker or three? Skeletor, I don't think so. Everyone else does, though, Skeletor. That's the problem. And your nose job is horrible, by the way. Fucking terrible. You married that 90-year-old, that's the best nose job you can get out of him? All that money he got? Jesus Christ, woman. So, yeah, it directly contradicts when you're telling a lie to the world because you're committing mass murder against fishermen down in the Caribbean. That they're narco-terrorists and the drugs are killing people in America and they're a threat to America. Then you have 3 drug traffickers here that you literally pardon because they give you money. Yeah, your credibility doesn't look so good after that. That's the short list too, son. I could go all fucking night. Just from what I got in my head. This is Adam Kinzinger. Looks like Trump and Hegseth might be preparing to throw the military under the bus on the second strike. You think, Adam? I could have told you that before today even happened. Donnie threw Pete under the bus yesterday. I read it to you. Right under the fucking bus, without hesitation. This is why, excuse me, looks like Trump and Hegseth might be preparing to throw the military under the bus on the second strike. This is why you don't execute illegal orders, because you are responsible. Right, I was just following orders in The Hague. That don't work. The man, too, when you're standing there, why did you help mass murder 80-some people? I'm sure the number will be much higher by the end, but let's go with 80-some people. I was just following orders, man. Okay, you see that lake over there? Proceed. Because you are responsible. Nuremberg should have taught everyone that. I guess some of you and the Reich needed to learn a different way. And boy, you gonna learn, son. Oh my God, will you learn. Back to Miss Levitt in her horrible fucking jacket. And look at her face here. I don't know. I'm not seeing that usual false lion-ass confidence that I normally see. And Miss Levitt, don't worry. The fun's only begun. You've only, begun to sell your soul. You've only begun to, make apologies for a rapist, a child molester, and a mass murderer. I wonder what you'll defend next. It's all on you too, babe. You know that, right? You're the mouthpiece for it all. You think that bears you no responsibility? You're wrong. Oh wait, did I even read the damn thing? Okay, no, I didn't read it. You said that second strike was in accordance with the law of armed conflict, but the Navy's own manual says that firing on survivors from a wrecked vessel is an example of a war crime. And, good thing there's no war even declared, so it's just straight up mass murder, like Ron Filipkowski said. I would reiterate that the strike was conducted in accordance with the law of armed conflict. No, it wasn't. Another worthless vagary. We're following the law. No, you're not at all. Otherwise, you'd have a confident look on your face and you wouldn't look all fucking depressed and dopey. Because you know what you're being an apologist for. Mass murder. You've already been a pedophile apologist every day. You've already been a grifter apologist every day. Now to Kash Patel. You flew on a Department of Justice jet to visit your girlfriend. Were any rules broken? And this is an interview he's doing in all his cross-eyed glory. Patel, I think this is another distraction from the work that we are doing here at the FBI. Patel has done no work. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I seen him show up and look bewildered a few times at a few locations, a few meetings when Donnie was speaking. That's all I've seen. I've seen him steal taxpayer money and resources, flying around on the private jet as if it's his own private jet with his girlfriend. Can we get that money back, you cross-eyed freak? It's not your personal jet, son. I know Donnie's an abject grifter and is setting that kind of example. It's still not your personal jet. You're stealing from the taxpayer. You're supposed to be head of the fucking FBI and law enforcement. This is what happens when you hire a cross-eyed podcaster to be head of the FBI. They steal from you. And then they tell you it's a distraction when you bring it up. Again, back with Miss Levitt. Again, with the look on her face, it ain't looking too strong. I don't know. In the interest of transparency, does the White House support releasing the Department of Defense's video of those September 2nd strikes? You mean where they committed a war crime on top of mass murder, even though it's not a war? That's definitely not a decision for me to make. Oh, yeah, we'll never see that footage now. Not that we need to. They're not denying anymore that the second strike happened. They denied it at first, of course. Then Donnie threw Pete under the bus when they asked him about it. I wonder what Pete will do. We'll get to it in a moment. Trump admin will no longer commemorate World AIDS Day. That's from the New York Times. I've told you about a piece of scripture. I forget where it is right now. A quick search, I could find it in 3 seconds. The point is knowing what it means. He will change the feast days. That's one of the qualifications for the Antichrist. I talked about the observances. He immediately changed when he got back into office. For military and government, one of those observances on the list on the first round back in January. Holocaust remembrance. Just so you know where this is all going. That observance got removed. The Reich did not want the army and military observing that. That's one on a long list. Mostly had to do with women and minorities and things like that. You know what it is, son. You know this is a racist movement. Always been. And you know the Klan votes are. Every day, all fucking day. No matter what. That should tell you all you need to know about right-wing politics. By who the Klan votes for. Real simple. World AIDS Day. No, this is not a feast day, but changing the feast days, observances for pretty much every holiday. Donnie's already altered a few of those as well, regular American holidays. Changing the feast days. Again, observances by our modern world, all the different holidays, Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, all of it. 4th of July. What do we do on those days? Oh, well, we all get together, we have a meal, hang out, and go home. So I guess the feast days, this is my opinion, this is my interpretation from what I'm seeing, would be the holidays, right? What else would they be? And observances. Not just days where we have a meal. The different things we observe. Like World AIDS Day. Russia's having an epidemic of that right now. I think they're second to Africa or something like that, or they've caught up to the same numbers. Donnie took this away. Donnie has changed the feast days, changed observances several times already. Like I said, Donnie fits all the criteria. And you know, when I thought of feast days, when I pondered that piece of scripture, because I found that a fascinating criteria, it's a very specific thing. I was thinking more of the Jewish feast days. The Antichrist would somehow alter those. Maybe he still will. I don't know. But since we now know it's an American president, we're certain. Well, the American holidays, the American observances that different companies, military, people observe, like World AIDS Day, gone. Not the first thing Donnie's changed. So this is Pete Hegseth today. Now that he's watched all this, he's getting scared. He's, fucking pounding gin. He's got to think of how do I approach this. And Pete always thinks he's slick. Pete is the type of guy that thinks he's the smartest guy in the room and never is. Pete thinks he's being slick with this post here. He didn't fool me. I know an under the bus when I motherfucking see one. Remember, Donnie threw Pete under the bus yesterday. Oh, I wouldn't have wanted that. Pete said it didn't happen. In other words, go talk to Pete about it, or I'm going to go find out about it, when Donnie knew every damn thing about it already. That's one under the bus. Here's Pete. Let's make one thing crystal clear. Admiral Mitch Bradley is an American hero. Well, what about you, though, Pete? Why are we going right to talking about Admiral Bradley? Oh, because you're throwing him the fuck under the bus. Because you're a 1.5 pull-up bitch who's a mass murderer. A true professional and has my 100% support. But what about you, Pete? Why are we talking about the Admiral? You gave the orders, son. Don't want to say that part, huh? I stand by him in the combat decisions he has made on the September 2nd mission and all others since. What about your combat decisions that day? Because I know the order came from Pete. If Pete says they all have to die anyway, well, the Admiral, again, just executed his orders. That's all he did. Whether he killed them all at once, killed them separately. Still Pete's orders. America is fortunate to have such men protecting us. When this Department of War says we have the back of our warriors, we mean it. Yeah, way back, right, Pete? I didn't hear Pete mention anything about him here. Did you notice that? He acts like he's complimenting the man when what he's really doing, in a Pete Hegseth drunk on gin kind of way, thinking he's slick, throwing him under the goddamn bus. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? You people, man, this is what they're going to do to you when it comes down to it. When it comes to you going to prison or them. I have full confidence in that Admiral. But Pete, there's nothing in the comment here about your orders. That's because Pete's a drunk bitch. What's sad is I smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day and I could do more pull-ups and never been in the military. I'd bet my life on it. Real ones too, Pete. Even though I'm out of shape like a motherfucker. Haven't touched a weight in fucking years. Unfucking believable with this. Let's be clear. That Admiral did the whole thing. I had nothing to do with it, but I stand behind him. No, see, standing behind the guy. Rubes, I know you guys are traitors and pathetic too, so I'll have to explain this to you. Standing behind the Admiral would have been, well, I was the one that gave the orders to kill those men. And I take responsibility. You know what's funny, class? Again, Donnie and Petey, they boast about this. They say it's legal. They say it's great. When the details are known. With Donnie, it ain't great no more. Oh, I wouldn't have done that. Yes, you would, Donnie. You gave the orders. All your idea. When it comes to Pete's turn, that Admiral does a great job, doesn't he? I totally stand behind him. What am I trying to convey to you right now, class? They both know they're mass murderers. They know what they're doing is evil, wrong. Why? How do I know that? Because they're blaming each other for it. They're throwing the hot potato back and forth. Literally, you're watching it happen. That's how I know that they know what they're doing is straight up, flat out mass murder. They just proved it to us in the past 2 days that they understand what they're doing. And again, behind closed doors, when Donnie, and Peter discussing it, they're laughing it up. They know exactly what they intend. To kill as many as they feel like. And it's nothing but sport to them. Then in front of the cameras, when the Hague is brought up, I wouldn't have done that. And Pete, that Admiral did a great job. I'm standing 1,000 yards behind him. To the point you can't see me. But I'm there. I swear. Oh my God. This is the problem, Admiral, when you execute illegal orders. Like Adam Kinzinger says, you're responsible. And the cunts above you, Admiral, all too happy to throw it right on you. It went right down the chain. Donnie, I got nothing to do with it. Pete, I got nothing to do with it. Admiral, worthless waste of oxygen, no good, low down, snake cunts. This gives me no faith that the military will say no even after this. That's how little I believe in you. That's how little I believe in humanity, let alone the military, my God. None of this will change anything. But it's worth discussing. No one will go to prison, except maybe the Admiral. Here's Ron Filipkowski. If blowing up survivors in the water was the right thing to do because they're a narco-terrorist, trust us, bro, and deserve no quarter, why did we rescue 2 other survivors in a different strike, fly them home, and let them go free? Right, I discussed that when it happened. I thought these were dangerous terrorists. I said literally what Ron's saying back then. You scooped them out the water or wherever you got them from. You had them on the boat. You said, we're just going to drop them off somewhere. I thought they were, again, narco-terrorists, Pete. Oh, never mind. You're just committing mass murder. I forgot. Never mind. This is, I don't even know what to think about this. Costco sues the Trump administration seeking a refund for tariffs. How's that going to work? Now you can sue the government for tariffing things? I don't know what to think about this. Because I have no love for fucking Costco. And why should they get their money back and no one else? Why should they get their money back at all? I can't see them winning this lawsuit. So why are they doing it? To draw attention to the matter? Maybe their business is going under. Maybe that's it. Maybe they figure if a major company starts this cascade, maybe a bunch of other companies will join and then the tariffs will just go away. Because they can't honestly think they're going to win the case. They can't. I don't know what to think of it, because this doesn't help any of us out. This is just a, billion, trillion-dollar corporation that just wants tax money handed to them. All the other businesses took the hit or raised prices. I just don't understand why Costco's special. I guess they'll figure that out in court, but I just can't see him winning the case. It's just a very strange lawsuit in general. Again, maybe they're hoping a cascade happens and the tariffs just go away. This is a Donnie post about Mark Kelly. And then Mark Kelly responded to it. Mark Kelly and the group of unpatriotic politicians were wrong to do what they did. No, they weren't. Actually, right after they put this memo out, hey, you better not follow illegal orders. Maybe they knew about this. Maybe that's why they put the memo out. I get it now. I get it now. They had the leaker guy. They had the person. That's why they put the statement out. You better not follow illegal orders. And that's the thing with Donnie and the Reich. They consider every order legal. Until, again, the Hague is brought up, then no one knows anything. Donnie don't know, it's Pete's fault. Pete don't know, it's the Admiral's fault. But that's only when the heat's on. So these politicians did nothing wrong, and then what they warned everyone about, illegal orders being followed, and you better not follow them, all of a sudden some illegal orders were followed. Directly from Donnie and Pete. I don't give a fuck what they say. I know they hatched up this whole take over the world, take over the hemisphere, kill people, do whatever the fuck we feel like. That's Pete and Donnie. Let's finish this piece of shit. I hope the people looking at them are not duped into thinking it's okay to openly and freely get others to disobey the President of the United States. No, you should disobey if the orders are illegal. That's all they're saying. And you were seeing the fallout from an admiral that followed illegal orders. Everyone under that admiral followed illegal orders as well. You're not free, absolved of guilt either, son. None of you. And again, you know, if orders are no problem, everything we do is legal, well, how come Donnie threw Pete under the bus? How come Pete threw the admiral under the bus? Thought you guys had the right to do this stuff. That's what Donnie's saying. Donnie's nightmare is the military says no from this point forward and pulls a Romania on him. Do you hear me? You think he don't think about that? Thinks about it every day. The key to all of this, you people with the machine guns and fatigues, you've gone along so far, you've lost every shred of respect I've had for any of you. Will you go along in the future? I'm telling you your future. Yes, you will. Pretty much all of you. That's the human race. Especially in the modern age. I already knew that about all of you. Before this era came. So Donnie's worst nightmare, I'm talking about this type shit keeps him up at night. The military just says no, goes and grabs him and takes him away. Like any other dictator. Once the people around him finally grew some fucking balls. Of course, it would probably be too late to save their soul even after that, though. For what they've done before. So here's Mark Kelly responding to what was said. The one thing Donald Trump is always and will always be afraid of is the truth. And right now he's scared. Yep. You know how I know he's scared? I wouldn't have done that. Pete said it didn't. It was Pete. But in the first term, you guys could have ended this and no one would have had to die. In the second term, you guys could have ended this and no one would have had to die. And you know what else is sad about the military? You fucking punk cunt bitches without hesitation deployed against us. Did any military rush in there on January 6th and try and save congressmen, senators, our government, this country? Not a goddamn one. That's why it's over, son! And fuck you! Ron found it. I knew it existed because I've watched these cunts brag about what they've done, play the footage on the news shows, play it at the fucking White House, make crack jokes about it. They're mass murder, Donnies and Pete's. Pete Hegseth on September 3rd talking about the strike on boats where 2 survivors were later killed in a second strike. I watched it live. That's a quote. I watched it live. Yeah, we know, Pete. That's what I said yesterday, remember? About 19 times, class. I said it before yesterday as well. I've been saying it for probably the past week. Donnie and Pete watched the tape of the very incident. They know every detail, and they gave the orders. I don't care if they gave that specific order to kill those survivors. Meaningless. Donnie and Pete hatched up this whole plan. Pete gave the standing order, kill them all. The Admiral executed it. That's all that happened. Who's responsible? The Admiral, Pete, and Donnie, all three of them. Who's a mass murderer? The Admiral, Pete, and Donnie. Here's what it looks like. I can't remember if I even showed you. Again, I mean, look, Pete's on Fox News. He's loving it. He's all happy. He's showing the footage. He's boasting of his mass murders. But then, fast forward to today. Pete's not boasting of it anymore. The only thing he keeps saying is the Admiral's name. Why didn't Pete roll the footage for us today? No? Today, I have full confidence in that Admiral that we've never heard of before. Interesting. Again, the fact that they have a completely different attitude all of a sudden about it, that tells you they both know they're murderers. Ted Lieu, we're going to finish with Ted Lieu. And I was hoping someone would say this because this is what I've been saying for the past days. Pete's orders, kill them all. How the Admiral does that, well, that's at his discretion. He just has to follow the orders, which is kill them all. That's what he did. So Pete's responsible, and Donnie's responsible because they hatched this whole bullshit thing up. Dear Secretary of Defense, you are a coward for throwing Admiral Bradley under the bus. Indeed. You are in charge. You said to kill them all. Indeed. And you need to take responsibility. Oh, Pete didn't dare do that. Threw that hot potato right at the Admiral. Instead of sending out bizarre cartoonish figures of Franklin the Turtle, I showed you that yesterday. That's mass murder memes. That video I did yesterday, that was Pete's meme about his own mass murder. Except when the reporters are asking about it, then it's the Admiral's fault. When Pete's at home with a glass of gin on social media, he cracking jokes. Equating mass murder to a children's story. The man will not be pleased, Pete. You're fucked, dude. This is Natasha Bertrand. This is what Ted Lieu is commenting on. Hegseth again distancing himself from responsibility over the September 2nd strike, emphasizing that it was a combat decision ADM Bradley made, but that he supports. That's also called throwing the Admiral under the bus. That's what that is. Let's read Ted Lieu one more time because this is what I've been saying. You are a coward for throwing Admiral Bradley under the bus. You are in charge. You said to kill them all. That's a standing order given by the Secretary of Defense. Except when the heat's on and the Hague gets talked about, then all of a sudden it's all the Admiral's doing. All of a sudden the Admiral is in charge. Not the drunk Fox News host. Not the obese, diapered, orange-faced maniac. Just the Admiral. Isn't that interesting? And Ted Lieu is totally right. I agree with him 100%. I've been yelling this every fucking night. Pete is the one who gives the fucking orders. I don't care if he gave that specific in the moment killed him, which he still could have. Wouldn't surprise me. Will the admiral throw him under the bus? Absolutely not. I notice again a lot. I notice that a lot about you military people. Even after you get out, you high-level generals, you're still loath to talk shit. You needed to change that 20, 30, 40 years ago. And you needed to be talking shit. Because now we don't have a country because you didn't talk shit. Decided to maintain etiquette and bullshit. Again, that's why just everything's gone. What a shame. So in closing, the people that are ultimately responsible, the people that hatched up this entire let's kill them all down in Venezuela and steal their oil, well, that's Pete and Donnie. The admiral is also responsible, but he third man down. And again, I don't say this lightly. I don't say it for fun. It's where we're at on the timeline. And I knew we'd get here, baby. God knows what's happened that we don't know about. How many more bodies are stacked on that count? Donnie's count. Pete's count. Donald Trump is a mass murderer. Proven. Verified. Pete Hegseth is a mass murderer. Proven. Verified. Spoken before the man. Have a wonderful evening.